1-1 at Cardiff Met on Saturday just gone. It's always a difficult place to go. We did win there last season, 1-0. That was an own goal. And prior to that, we have to go back to March 2017. And again, that was 1-0. Why is it that some teams seem to be a bogey opponent?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think leading into this game, we looked a lot of their form and hadn't been beaten for a number of games leading into that game. So I think we came at them at a good time, probably for them. They were on good form. They were quite tight with their results and the goals they've conceded. And I can only go off what I've seen in the last few times that we've played them. We had a good victory and a good win at home when we played them. But you're right, looking at the stats, that away from home has been very difficult. I think in terms of that game in particular, they made it hard for us. We didn't necessarily take our chances. And I think that led to us leading 1-0 going into those last couple of minutes, and then we were disappointed to concede that goal. But I think if you're in touch by a goal, or the opposition are in touch by a goal leading into that last bit, then that makes it difficult for you to defend sometimes. It's happened twice to us now, so we need to be careful of that. But in terms of necessarily a bogey team, I think a lot of teams do certainly raise their game for us. I think going away from home and going down south is always a challenge. It's an overnight stay, the preparation, the travel, etc. But we wouldn't use that as an excuse. I think we've come up against a good Cardiff Met side there that were really well organised, had an excellent game plan, and you'd say from their point of view managed to implement that and get a point in the end. So yeah, we do look into those things and look at that, but then also not pay too much attention at either and just take each game on its merit and as it comes.
And naturally it was a disappointment, but we step back, 10 games to go, a 21 point lead still at the top of the table, and a very good points tally for the New Saints going into the final furlong.
Yeah, well, I think we're unbeaten in 9 or 10 games, I think, in the league now. That was our first draw, and we'd won the other 8 before that, including the cup game would take us to 10 games. And when you look at that score and that result, that puts us on 57 points. That is the second highest points total out of any TNS team, apart from that, I think, 2016-17 team who had the 27 game unbeaten run, which is an amazing feat that I'd probably wouldn't like to say too much, but would say that would be very hard to beat that again. And some of the players who are here now are involved in that. Some of the staff members are involved in that. So we speak regularly about those things, and just thought that's important to highlight to show how far the playing squad's come this year, how far the staff have come, and how well we're doing to get that second highest points total, being 57 points out of any team and any TNS team before the split. So that puts us on course to be where we want to do and to achieve what we want to achieve. But we really want to attack these last 10 games. We want to be positive. We're not taking our foot off the pedal by any means. We're still training hard, if not harder than what we have been, to make sure that we're in a good position, like you say, running into these last 10 games, starting Friday night away, which will be certainly a tough game.
And our last visit there against Flint Town United, you won't need reminding, of course, it was 1-1. They scored a very late goal. That'll still be fresh in the minds of many people associated with the New Saints. Do incidents like that, late goals conceded, act as an incentive to win, or is it a case of that was then, this is now, and we just want to go out and be professional and win the game anyway, regardless of past history?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting question, because looking at Flint when we played them this season, they're a lot different than the season before. New manager in, playing a different style, very aggressive on the front foot, get the ball in the box. He's added really well recruitment-wise there, I think, and they've been a real threat this season. We beat them 1-0 at home here in quite a tight game where I think we played reasonably well, but they certainly caused us some problems in that game. And then away from home, I thought we were excellent up until the sending off of Leo Smith, which he shouldn't have been sent off, looking at that. And then they put the pressure on us and put the ball in the box and did what they did and got that equaliser late in the game, which was disappointing for us, especially I think a little bit in a way similar to Cardiff Met game on the weekend, where we had enough chances to win the game. We should have been more than 1-0 up in the first half in the game at Flint. And we want to put that right, I think, as well, and get the win, because I think we deserve to get the win there last time we played there. Having said that, though, they'll be right up for it. They'll be looking to beat us. I think they'll be nice and physical. It'll be a match-up. I think the pitch will be interesting to see what the state of the pitch is like as well. But we're ready for that. We've prepared well for that this week and looking forward to the game.
And how are the preparations going, not only on the pitch, of course, with the players, but also off it as well, in terms of the staff preparing for this particular fixture?
Yeah, good. It's no different for us. We're still bang on it, regardless of where we are in the table, what the games are coming up. We've got a nice little quick run of games now with Flint, with Bala, with Pennybont. So they're three, on paper, very difficult games. And I think this will be one of our harder games, and was one of our harder games when you go there Friday night. It's always a good crowd, good atmosphere, tight, small pitch. So it was entertaining, I think, last time when we played there. So I'm sure it'll be exactly the same, and we'll be ready for that challenge.
And regardless of individual player performances in the previous game, you will always, as the head coach, select the team that you think will do the business in the next fixture. Are we likely on that basis to see any surprises, many changes from what the starting 11 was against Cardiff Met?
Yeah, we possibly are. I mean, it's an interesting one because we had two players suspended, Jordan Williams, Ash Baker, who'll come back in now. There's no hiding those two, could be available and come back in. We've had a couple of injuries this week, so we're not sure how we'll juggle the pack there and make sure we pick the right team. But we tactically need to get it right for this game. Like we said, small pitch, tight areas, tight spaces, so it'll be a little bit different than, say, when we're playing at home or on a bigger pitch. So yeah, I think there's places up for grabs and changes could be made as well for that game.
And finally, you've just mentioned a couple of injuries. What is the general situation likely to be as we look to Friday's game? Injuries, suspensions and general availability?
Yeah, unfortunately John Routledge has picked up an injury in the game before last. He's unavailable for a number of weeks now, which is a disappointing one for us. He's been a real key player for us. He captained in the last game, I think in the cup game here, John, and he's been excellent for us so far and a real leader, both on and off the pitch. So it's disappointing not to have him available. But apart from that, a few knocks and bruises, and hopefully we can get a couple of players out there that can be back playing available. And like we said, the two that come back from suspension will help the squad and make us a little bit thicker there.